Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Ignite Your Intuition. This program is coming to you from Zoom.com, and I'm Willow of willowbradner.com. I'm just so excited that you've chosen to sign up for this because it's my belief and solid opinion that when we are activating our intuition, when we are igniting this piece of ourselves that is innate in every single one of us, we are actually living a higher level of authenticity and truth. We're really stepping into who it is that we are, and we're starting to grow the muscle of belief that we can, in fact, have whatever it is that we want. So for today, I want you to just find yourself a super comfy position. Make sure that you are doing your best to turn off your phones and deactivate sort of the noises around you, just so that you can really get present with this. This is going to be a bit of information, but we're also going to have a meditation midway through. And the meditation is really an opportunity for you to feel, see, and hear your intuition, because it's an invitation for you to understand how this information is really coming into you. Now, I'm a working psychic, and there's a little bit of a difference between a psychic and an intuitive. An intuitive is getting natural hits. You're still getting information, but it's mostly for yourself. Sometimes you might get information for other people as well, but it's really about sort of your purpose, your path. So it's really clean and clear. So if there's any fear or confusion about becoming a psychic and really activating your intuition, this is really step one, to activate your intuition. And so we're just going to talk about the varying channels and how you feel, see, and hear your intuition. So you'll just sort of notice and sit back in this time and process. Now, I recognize that there will be questions during and after, and what I ask is, I will leave you some opportunities with which you can reach out to me personally, as well how to get readings with me, because I do private readings, and additionally the bigger program, as this is the baby step into owning your intuition and using it for your business and for your life. And of course, always, I'm open to you simply emailing me and asking questions, not intuitive questions, but certainly questions with regards to this program. So let's get started, shall we? And it just always clicks in for a little second. So we have to do a little technical step here. So we are going to share our screen. And then from there, we'll push play. Ooh, you guys got the back end because I'm always put together. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but being put together is my bread and butter. I actually think the more psychic intuitive you are, the more scattered you are, or that is me totally spiritually bypassing my truth, which is I'm basically a disaster most of the time, and I have these edges of me that are put together. So here we are. We're going to start at the very beginning with Ignite Your Intuition. And again, I'm Willow Bradner. I'm what I call an accidental psychic. I truly don't believe that this ability is reserved or saved for special people. I believe that psychic and intuitive are reserved for all people. And it's just a matter of us making the decision that we want to tune in and up. And that's truly the difference. I think whenever I tell people that I'm psychic, the first thing people say is they start sharing their stories of intuition. They start sharing their psychic hits and inclinations that have been happening to them throughout their lives. And I'm sure you have a bucket of stories as well. The difference is one day I woke up and decided that I was going to make a living using those hits, that I was going to actually teach other people then, after I learned how to grow my muscle, I was going to teach other people how to grow this muscle. And not necessarily to become a psychic, unless that's what you want, happy to help you. But because I actually think that we can live a life from intuition, that we can live a more authentic, truthful life when we are actually in our intuition. Because there's two sides of the coin here, and I think you're really clear about the other one, and that's what we call the ego. In spiritualism, everybody's trying to kill the ego off, and that's not my intention here today. My intention here today is to grow the intuitive muscle so that the ego is not running it. And we're going to talk a lot more about who the ego is and who the intuition is. And for the sake of just this moment of introduction, your ego is the one that is judging. Your ego is the one that is super loud in your brain all the time, checking off the to-do list and adding more tasks to the list. Your ego is the one that has judgment, fear, comparison. It's the one that sends you into self-doubt and makes you question the things that you want. Whereas intuition guides you, holds you, carries you, and really points out the directions that are best for you to go. So when we grow the intuitive muscle, you actually are more guided and you are heading in a more aligned movement towards the things that you desire. So let's get started. What is your intuition? Your intuition is this quiet voice inside that tells you the truth. It's the knowing inside that reminds you who you are and why you are here. And it's the feeling you get that guides you. Now, we all have an intuitive voice, and it sounds different for all of us. There's 3 different ways that you're going to feel, see, or hear your intuition. There is the clairvoyants who are seeing their intuition. And that's when you are dreaming in technicolor, or you're seeing symbols all over, or pictures. You might even just have colors, and you might start noticing how those colors impact how you feel, and or if it's like if you see a red, does it mean stop like you would of a stop sign? If it's green, does it mean go? Start asking those questions. A clairvoyant is somebody who daydreams all the time. And in those daydreams, you're seeing yourself in other places and in other spaces. And sometimes you can daydream about other people, but predominantly when you're using your intuition, you're daydreaming about yourself. This makes you a master manifester, by the way. If you are a daydreamer, you are masterful in your manifestations. You're very good at creating a life that you really want. Something else that I think is interesting about a clairvoyant is somebody who speaks in metaphors, because how the information is being dropped down is metaphoric. So you're seeing something that doesn't make any sense to you, but you're turning it around into a metaphor so that it does make sense to you. And that's sort of like understanding symbology. With clairvoyance, there is this idea that there is some sort of future seeing, that you become sort of a seer of the future. And I want to be clear about this because I think that there are levels of future. Like when I work with people as a psychic, I'm working to validate the path they're on and to help directionally challenged people create sort of a GPS navigating system. It's not to say in 10 years' time, you'll be married, rich, wealthy, owning cars, having houses, doing all the things. I'm not interested in that, because at the end of the day, life is a choose your own ending novel. And you want to have room to be flexible about what's coming your way, because you may change your mind. And so I don't do a lot of future casting. Now, that said, I do believe that there are future inclinations. There are imprints that are already awaiting us. For example, years ago, my favorite band in the whole wide world, Walk Off the Earth, came to Denver. And that morning, I just kept getting the hit that we were going to have dinner with them. And like, I could see it in my mind. I could see having dinner next to the band. And so I told my friends and family, I was like, dudes, we got to get to this one restaurant. I'm just convinced it's going to be this restaurant. They're vegetarian. They've got to be eating at this restaurant. And I spent the whole day trying to work it out and figure out where exactly they were going to be. And on our way to the concert, I finally decided to like give it up. Like, I don't need to be a super psychic. I don't need to like totally like stalk them with my psychic mind. And likely the thing with psychic is when you try too hard, you get it wrong. So we decided we were just going to park across the street from the venue and go to this taco place across the street from the venue. And lo and behold, we walk in and there they are waiting for us as if they knew we were coming all along. And of course, it's a huge restaurant and the host sat us right next to the band. Now that's clairvoyance right there, just for an example. And it doesn't always work this way, and it doesn't always show up this bright or this brilliant. And when this showed up for me, I was very much into my psychic world. But that said, you're going to have hits like that, and it's a matter of trusting it, and it's a matter of going with it and seeing what you can do with it and just playing with these pictures and ideas. And we'll learn how to do this. If you're going, I don't think that's me, that's okay, because we're going to really kind of work on this through our meditation. So the next kind of psychic is clairaudient. And this one's really rare. From what I understand from all the research that I've done, this one's really rare, clairaudience, because what clairaudience is the ability to hear spirit, to hear your intuition. And so it's like you're getting information downloaded in voice. But how it shows up for me is it's like a repeated phrase. So if I get a phrase or a word that just is like recycled, 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 I know for myself that that's an intuitive clairaudient hit. Sometimes it's just a stroke of inspiration, but it's like a download. Like imagine like a piece of paper ripped out of a book with words on it, like the picture in front of you, the listen, breathe, let your heart lead. If that were to drop in, like you might just see the words, but it feels almost like it's coming in this direction from the ears. So those sudden inspirations that happen when you're doing really mundane tasks, taking a shower, driving, mowing the lawn, doing the dishes, cooking, a lot of times you might just get this like aha hit. That's clairaudience. Isn't that cool? And then the other one that I love about clairaudience, because I use this one a lot, and this is, I think, how my psychic really showed up, is giving the best advice ever. Have you ever told somebody advice and then had the, aha, that was for me? How many of us can honestly say that we are receiving messages as we are talking to people? Because being audient and speaking to people is really a way for us to channel what's coming in, through, and out of. So notice when you're talking to people, if you also are getting a sense that the messages you're sharing, messages that you are sharing, are actually for you as well. Because often we teach what we are trying to learn. And so that's really an important thing. It's just notice when you are telling stories, if you're getting information. And I'll be interested to hear how many of you have this, because I think it's not understood. I think actually loads of us have it, but I think because it's so hard to really determine if it's like my thought, God's thought, ego thought, where is it coming from, that it's harder to trust at times. But again, when you get this sense of knowing that this belongs to you, that is truly your intuition. Okay. Our next one is the feeling. And this one is big. This one is kind of belongs to everybody. And I believe truly those of you who, if you signed up for this and you've made it this far in the video, this one is you. You have got this gift. All of us have this gift. Most people are empathic. What that means is that we have this sort of barometer built into our body that's picking up the energetic channels of other people. So it's like if you've ever gone to a party and come home and just felt so drained and so yuck and maybe even like anxious and a little bit off, it could be that you just like accidentally rolled around the party and picked up all the energy that was in the party and took it home with you, and you just didn't know. So like if that feels like you, if you're one of those people that gets home and goes, why am I feeling so yucky? It's not the booze. It means you need a bath and like some time away and like scrape some of that juju off of you. So what I loved about this one as well is that it's a clear feeling. So sometimes your body, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes your body will walk you towards something. And sometimes you'll feel like you come up against a wall and like you have to back away. So your body is really a barometer. It'll say yes and it'll say no very clearly in the body. And you can do this with food. It's a really fun experiment to shine a light on your feelings using food. Like put a food in your hand that you know you love and put it kind of up against your belly and see if you can feel that food. Then pick a food that you love but you know is terrible for you, and you know you always cheat on yourself and you eat that food anyways, and put that up and see if you can feel it. And then put up a food that you don't love, but you know is really good for you, like kale, and see how that feels. And your body will literally start telling you what food to put in your mouth. And I don't want to lie, I know how whiskey makes me feel. If I pick up a bottle of whiskey, and I don't drink it much, but it's one of my favorites, if I so much as touch the whiskey bottle, I can feel it in my body. And it is sometimes worth it. Sometimes it is worth it. So I will go and I will do that. But the more you feel it, the more you can trust yourself to make those kinds of decisions that are going to make your body feel better. And as well, just on this note, because of the empathic thing, I want to be clear. Empathics pick up negative energy almost more than they pick up positive energy. And what that means is the cleaner and the clearer your body is, the less likely you are to pick up on super low level energy. Something about being empathic means that you become a lint roller for stuck in yuck. And the difference between empathic and the clarisentient, because there's a kind of a difference. The empath is picking up all of the stuck in yuck. It's like an emotional lint roller, picking up all the emotions. The clarisentient, when clear in their body, when clear, which means you're really present in your body, you're drinking water, you might even be eating really great food for yourself. But when you're clarisentient and you're coming in as a clear barometer and you're asking your body to really notice how things are feeling, the more you're doing that, you're really asking the body to feel and be the barometer for the things that you want, the more you will not become a lint roller for stuck in yuck energy. So be really clear about that. And there's ways to guard the body in this. And I'm not a big protector of things, but here's the thing. When your personal human vibration is high, meaning you're happy, joyful, excited, exuberant, what have you, when you're eating well, your internal organs are clean and clear, you're not capable of picking up stuck in yuck energy. If you are eating crappy food, lots of sugar, and you're putting, this is really important here, when you're putting in processed food, it lowers your vibration. A machine made your food. Chemicals are in your food, and it lowers your vibes. So if this one really resonates with you, it's the most important and impactful one in the body. And it affects how you feel, right? So you really, as hard as it might be, you have to work that much harder to take care of your body. It really does matter, and it really will sharpen and change the way your intuition works for you, the cleaner and clearer you are. And the more you trust your gut, the better your intuition here will work as well. So, as you know now, you are intuitive. I am sure in the explanation of one of those three that you were like, that's me, she's talking about me, I can do that. Because every time I watch these videos, that's how I act. So I imagine you guys are just like me, right? So which one did you feel most inclined to? Clairvoyant, clairaudient, or clarisentient, or otherwise known as the empath? Which one felt like most you? And then if the other ones also resonated, how did that feel? Because you can be all three. This is not a trick question. So we're going to ignite your intuition with this information. And what that means is we're going to sit here, and I'm going to ask that you just find yourself in a really comfortable, relaxed state of being. Take a drink of water as I'm going to. And just find yourself a comfy spot. If you need a quick run to the bathroom or hit pause on this video, please do. Because we are going to do what is called meditate. And if you've never meditated before, I don't want you to judge yourself. That's your ego. I want you to just see what you can do to relax your body and see what you can do to stay in tune with simply the words that I'm going to say. The most present thing that you can possibly do in a meditation is stay with the guided words and breathe when you need to. But as long as you can stay with the guided words, and when you notice your brain is moving off into la la land and laundry and to-do lists and tasking out and trying to do its ego thing, See if you can't slowly come back into the words. No judgment, no judgment. This is an exercise and it takes time to grow this muscle, okay? So take a deep breath, getting comfortable in your seat, closing your eyes, and simply attaching to your breath. In through the nose, holding at the top of that breath, and then releasing out the mouth. At your own pace, take those breaths again. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. As you breathe, just notice what it feels like to bring the oxygen into the body. And notice what it feels like to exhale and relieve yourself of old, unwanted energy. With every exhale, you are surrendering. With every exhale, see yourself releasing energy that is no longer serving and making room for the new, fresh energy with every inhale. As you inhale, allow yourself to open up to the possibilities that are around you. With every breath inhaling, see yourself expanding energetically. Allow yourself on the inhale to breathe in clean, fresh ideas and universal energy, and exhaling out the energy that no longer serves. Begin to breathe as you normally would at your own pace. And then your next breath, bring your intention down to your toes. Feeling the flat of your feet. If you're in cross-legged, you're fine. If you're laying down, you're fine. Just pay attention to the flat part of your foot. The part of the foot that meets the ground. I want you to imagine that there's a magnet attached to the palms of your feet. And that magnet holds you down into the earth, grounding you, creating a presence inside of you, and energizing the very core of your being. And as you are connected to the earth, I want you to imagine that the energy of the earth is able to travel because of this magnet and this connection. The energy is allowed and able to travel up into the ankles, feeling the energy just clear out the ankle, continuing to breathe as you move the earth energy up through the shin bones and into the calf muscles. Imagining that the earth energy is cleaning and clearing as it goes, the energy that is stuck and no longer working for you. Imagine that sweet earth energy working its way up into the knee. Taking a moment here to send your breath down into the knee. Witness if there's any pain, achiness. And if there's any pain or achiness, see how you feel about the idea that there might be a reason you're not moving forward right now. And allow the earth to let you just let go and not hold you back anymore. Breathe as you move the energy up through the thighs, and into the hip bones. Noticing if there's any pain, any achiness in the hip bones. Sending the rich breath down into the hip, allowing the earth energy to clear it out and awaken the space that is built for your creation. Moving the energy into the small of your belly and igniting your sacral chakra, the space with which you can clearly create, manifest, and enjoy your life. Breathe. And see if you can see the rich orange color of the sacral chakra. Or does it feel like something? Can you hear any answers with relation to you creating a life of dreams? Breathe as you move the energy up into the solar plexus, the space from the belly button to the rib cage. Expanding from the front of the body around to the back of the body. The solar plexus is the space in which the clarisentient responds and receives energy and information. Allow yourself to send the breath all the way down into the spot. Noticing again if the barometer of feeling has anything to say. Allowing yourself to expand that energy out from the body, all the way around the body. Fully encapsulating, protecting, and giving you a space to simply work with. Breathe as you move the energy up into the heart chakra, the space in which your lungs live and your heart resides. Taking a deep breath, allowing the air to fully encapsulate the chest. Seeing the bright green energy of the heart surrounding you, clearing you with the earth's energy. Imagine that the breath and the earth energy combined are actually healing the spaces in the heart that have been broken before. Rebuilding the walls of trust, rebuilding the walls of love, and teaching you everything you need to know about abundance. Not only are you allowed to be here, not only were you invited to be here, but your truth of who you are and the purpose with which you came here live in this space. Breathe with a knowing that this is where the intuition lives. And it's here that you can ask, what is true? Breathe as you cycle the energy up into the throat, allowing yourself to pause, swallow, breathe. It's here where your intuition resides, the difference between your spirit and your ego. Your spirit being your intuition, your true self, your higher self. The who you are and the who you want to be. Allow this area to expand energetically. And seeing yourself as big, bright, beautiful, and entirely meant to be here now. Take your energy up through the jawbone and into the cavity of the nasal passage. drawing the energy up through the ears and into the forehead. See yourself windshield wipering the screen for the third eye. This is where you see. This is the seat of intuition for you to receive messages, symbols, colors. And on either side are your ears, with which you have your clairaudience set to hear. Allowing yourself to awaken the ears to hear your spirit messages, to receive downloads, so that you may better get direction. Seeing for the first time out of your third eye, I want you to imagine the beautiful pasture of green, waterfalls, birds chirping, wind blowing. And I want you to sit in this moment and see how it shows up. Can you feel the wind? Can you feel the sprinkles of water dashing off of the waterfall? Do you hear the sound of the crashing water onto the rocks while the birds chirp and the wind blows? Do you see something beyond the waterfall, beyond the trees, beyond the weeds whipping up against your legs? What do you see? How does your body feel in this moment? Imagine that you are free and that every resource you've ever desired is available to you. That happiness abounds here. And what is life is easy. Your friends, your family, your relatives, the people with whom you love can all be here in this space should you choose. You can put a Lamborghini in a playground, a swimming pool, a big house, or simply remain in the jungle of your mind, the simplicity of the waterfall, the birds chirping, the grass blowing. Breathe as your senses are coming alive, noticing if you're feeling, seeing, or hearing. Move the earth energy now into the crown chakra, the space just above your head. And imagine that it has an opening. Simply an on-off switch. And when you turn it on, it connects and illuminates to the light above, to the heavenly, godly energy that is above. And imagine this connection drawing down into your body, connecting with the earth energy and drawing itself in and around the body in a circle with the Mother Earth energy and the Father God energy, circling around and in, like yin and yang. Feel the white, soft energy of the universe washing down and through the forehead, into the nasal cavity, through the jawbone, down the throat, Filling in the heart, emptying out the stomach, into the small of the belly, down both of your legs, grounding you down back into the earth, feeling the magnet that holds you steady and present. Notice how when the white light splashes up against the earth, it bounces quickly back and around you, causing you to feel as if you are encapsulated in a bubble of white light, protected here always. And it's here that we begin to invite in the people that are of your highest good, your guides, your angels, and the loved ones with whom you'd like to meet with again on the other side. Take a deep breath and begin to invite in your guides. It's an ethereal team of people that were assigned to you and your energy specifically for the reason that you are here on earth. They are connected to your heart. They're connected to your purpose. And they are here to guide you in all ways that you need. Simply invite them in, giving them permission to participate in your life. And notice if you can see them as they come in 2 by 2, or if you can feel the presence. Or if you can hear the great applause and cheering that comes from the other side as you invite them in, like a surprise party. Imagine that this team is assigned to you, your life, your aspirations for love, your aspirations for career or business. They're here to help guide you in your financial solutions, to a better vacation, better relationships. Anything that it is that you need, your guides are here for you. All you need is to simply ask and invite them in. And they will begin to show you signs, symbols, speak to you, move you through the feelings of your body. And be very clear with them that you want really big signs if they show you the way. Take a deep breath and begin to invite in your angelic team. Your angels who have been with you since birth and from beyond. The sole purpose here is to keep you safe, to keep you on your path and in your purpose. Who will protect you at all costs in the name of why you are here and what it is that you came here to learn. With grace and gratitude, simply thank them for being on your team. And ask them as well to leave really big signs whenever you need to change direction. In your next breath, invite in any loved ones with whom have crossed over that you would want to meet with again. Ask them to come in single file. Ask them to come in with validations that you will remember and understand. Ask them to be very clear with their messaging. And thank them for taking the time, reminding them the love that you shared. Last, with a final breath, invite yourself in. Invite yourself into the idea that you are intuitive, that you feel things, see things, and hear things that are there to guide you, that you can connect to your guides, your angels, your loved ones, and ask for guidance, ask for direction, ask for help. And it is a matter of allowing the time between the two worlds to respond and for you to grow the muscles and understand how it works for you. But you are invited. You are intuitive. You are the one you've been waiting for. Final deep breath in and a big exhale out. As you feel ready, open your eyes and simply come back into our space. I recommend just to simply wiggle out your body. Notice how your wrists feel, move your feet around a little bit, and just really enter back into the space. Now you can really tell how your intuition speaks to you. So if there's any doubt before, I'd be curious to hear from you if you have doubts now. Inside of that meditation, did you feel your intuition? Did you hear or receive any messages? Did you see images, colors, or symbols in that meditation? And this is not a trick question. You could have had all three of them blaring at once, but you'll learn how to isolate them the more you can identify them. And something I should have shared before we went into the meditation was that I was going to invite in your guides, your angels, and your loved ones. So if that was a surprise to you, I apologize. Your guides are not necessarily the same as your loved ones. They carry a bit of a higher vibration, actually. And they've been energetically assigned to you because their energy is a match for you. Isn't that sweet? Their energy is the match for you. They've experienced similar in their lives. And when they crossed over, they graduated essentially to this position. It's like they became professors when they got upstairs. And so they do not participate in your life in any way unless you invite them and invoke them. So you don't have to worry that they're going to meddle in your life. They will not show up without an invitation. The angels, on the other hand, will show up, but only as a result of if you need them. And the best story that I can share with that is years ago, I watched the Today Show with Matt Lauer back when he was a good guy. And they were talking to a woman who had jumped out of an airplane and her parachute hadn't gone off and she lived. And as I was watching the show and listening to this girl's harrowing tale of falling from the sky and only knocking out her front teeth, the hit I had was, oh, she's pregnant and therefore she couldn't die. And that was the next thing she said was, I'm pregnant. That's the angels. That's how the angels act. The angels are the ones that sort of come in and go, whoo, no, this one has a reason for being here right now. Timing is everything. So we all have a reason for being here, but our timing is what's curious and what our ego usually gets involved with. And then, as you know, your loved ones are always invited if you love them and if you want them. If you did not have a good relationship with a loved one, simply don't invite them and they won't show up. But you may open the door to those with whom you love and begin to communicate. And you do have the opportunity to ask for a lot of information. So we'll get to that next. Now, this is what's really important is the ego and the intuition and the differential. Because now we've ignited the intuition, I want you to understand what is the difference. The ego loves to judge, is literally always afraid of everything. Like The intuition will have you climb to the top of a tree without fear, and the ego will be like, well, let's just go to the third branch because we know we can get down from there. The ego plays a super important role in our lives, but what has happened over time is that we've actually replaced our intuition. Imagine this is your intuition. We've replaced our intuition with our ego. And in order for us to live our best lives, we actually want the intuition to be there because we do want to climb the tree. We don't want to be afraid of everything. We want to be able to climb to whatever level we want. We want to rise unlimited to our highest potential. And the ego simply will not allow for that. The ego is like very comfortable in its comfort zone, in the patterns it's accustomed. And so that's the difference, is the ego is like, no, we're going to stay right here. It's safe and it's comfortable and we don't want to risk anything. And your intuition is like, but look over there. It's so beautiful. I want to try this other thing. Your ego will always protect you and keep you safe, even from a good time. Did you hear that? Your ego will always keep you safe and protected, even from a good time. Doesn't want you to go to the party, does not want you to have a good time, does not want you to deviate from the life that you have planned. You have tasks, you have to-do lists, you have things that you have to be, on top of. So that is your ego. It wants to maintain the pattern. It wants to maintain the comfort. Your ego is the one that shifts you into that space of self-doubt, fear, and comparison. So when you feel self-doubt, when you feel fear, or if you feel like you're comparing yourself to somebody else, that is all ego. That is not your intuition. That is not your higher self. That is not your spirit. Okay? Your ego will always try to have you play small, meaning it'll remind you somehow that you're not good enough or that you don't have enough. So notice that, because your spirit, your intuition would never say that. Your spirit and intuition is like, I am a motherfucking badass and I can be and do anything I want. The ego is like, yeah, but you don't have the things that you need to become that. So if you were to walk up to somebody on the street and say, I want to sell my house and travel around the world, their ego is going to respond with, who do you think you are? What the hell do you think? Or your inner judge, your ego judge, will come back with those same reasons. Like, you don't have enough money. Who the heck do you think you are to sell everything and travel around the world? You can't do that. You need a 401k plan. You have goals. You should stay in the society in which we've been brought up and raised, where your intuition's like, no, really, we could sell everything and we could travel around and find jobs everywhere we go and meet tons of people, and this will be great. So those are the differences a little bit, and we'll speak a little more to the intuition. Your intuition will support you. It'll support you, meaning fiscally as well. If you're in line and you're not following what you imagine is your intuition, aka the ego, your intuition will support you. It will always guide you, always guide you. But it doesn't show up in the time frame with what we imagine it should. So don't should on your intuition, and don't assume or imagine that it should be coming sooner or later than how it's arriving. Just allow it to be there. Your intuition will always show you the possibilities. So there's never just one door. Excuse me. There's sometimes two doors. And one door might be the easy first step, and the other door might be the giant big step. And just be clear with yourself. When you get the giant big step, the ego is always going to come in and say, we don't know how. This is so scary. We can't do it. It's too big. So actually ask your intuition for the smaller door. Ask your intuition for the first step, for the easy first step to just start moving towards the things that you want, okay? Your intuition will never doubt your abilities. Your intuition will never doubt your abilities. Most of our doubt is set in not enough money, not enough time, and we don't know how. That's usually where doubt lives. How and not enough. Your intuition actually will show you how, and it'll always find a way to get you the right amount of money. And there is enough time. There just simply is. There's always enough time when you're present and you're actually staying in the now. Your intuition will create abundance. Now, we have a real fucked up version of abundance in our world. Abundance isn't just the Benjamins. Abundance is time. It's expansive. Abundance is love. Abundance is having all your friends show up and help you like paint the store that you're trying to open. Abundance is all the people that you love watching your children so that you can go follow the dreams that you're after. Abundance is winning a free vacation because you decided to actually fill out the piece of paper on the, yogurt counter places, fill in the box, win a vacation thing. It's the little things that create the abundance. And so follow those hits, and that's how intuition shows up and creates that abundance. Your intuition is tricky, right? It's always going to be more creative and more risky than you might be ready for. And that means it'll always be more creative and risky than your ego will possibly allow. It'll always have a better idea. And so it is tough, and it is a muscle to learn and grow into that intuition, to trust it fully, because there are some really harebrained ideas. But the more you trust it, the bigger those muscles grow, and the easier it is to get these downloads. Your intuition at its core, its very core, is your truth. It's your truth. It's your spirit. It's your soul, but it's your truth. And what that means is there is a piece of us, and you can just feel this in your meditations, on a walk, when you're alone, when no one is asking anything of you. I call it the space that lives just behind the eyes. I feel like that's where my truth lives, just behind the eyes. And if I were to tell you my truth, the ego would stop me and say they're going to judge you if you say it. Your ego would stop you and say, who the hell do you think you are in saying so? Where your intuition is going to be like, I want to be famous. I want to be a newscaster. I want to have $1 million. I want to feel free. Your intuition is always going to be bigger and brighter again than you were expecting. But it's the truth. It's the who am I and what do I want truth. Okay? Your intuition will guide you to your life purpose. I believe you were brought here on earth for a reason. This is not for naught. And it is confusing, and it can be tough to sort through all the what's and all the wants and all the things we're supposed to do and should do, and moving those things aside to get to what we actually want. But you were actually brought here for a purpose and a reason. And your intuition can guide you that way. Trust and truth is all that intuition really is. Now, let's just get clear about the cock blocks of intuition, and that is expectations and assumptions, okay? Expectations and assumptions are the cock block to spirit, and what does that mean? It means that we plant seeds of what we want. We finally are like, ooh, I want something big, and then we watch it grow, and we stare at it, and we judge it, and we get fucked up about it. We're like mad that it's not doing it on our time frame. But here's the thing is, like, spirit has such a better idea for us. The universe has like a total plan for us if and when we finally open the door to this idea of intuition and spirit and woo. The second we open this door to it, we then have to trust and surrender and like let go and still wake up and start the car and still wake up and make movements towards the thing that we want, without micromanaging it and controlling it and contriving it and trying to create it and expect it and put all the stuff on it. That's how it cock blocks spirit. Spirit has a better way. There's always a bigger, better door. It's always going to be more creative than you would ever allow it to be. So remove expectations from friends, remove expectations from family, remove expectations from your career, remove expectations period from your life, and you will find yourself with more time and abundance. You will immediately, by removing expectations, find yourself with so much more energy because you're not worried about what other people are going to do or the time frame in which it's going to happen. You can just enjoy yourself in the now. Okay? And assumptions are the cock block, and assumptions are tough because it's a pattern, it's a judgment. Assumptions are a judgment. Assumptions are assuming that things are supposed to happen in a certain way, or assuming a person should be a certain way. When we put supposed to and should on things, that cock blocks too. Should have made that a meme. But for now, remember this one. All right. Why won't your intuition work? This is going to be a question you ask a lot. Why is it broken? Why isn't it working? Why isn't this happening? Truth is, it's that expectations and assumption thing. Because the chances are that somehow you've attached an outcome of what it is that you are asking for. You've attached an outcome, a desired outcome, and you've created that expectation. So release that. When you surrender and you breathe and you let go, and you down dog, and you go for a walk and you wait sometimes days for your intuition to guide you, then you'll get and receive divine intervention. And it's always easier than what your ego would have had you do. It's always easier than what your ego would have had you do. Trust in yourself and in divine timing. Often we're out of intuition because it's not happening as quickly as we would prefer. The universe has the timing down pat. And it's always the case. Like, again, when that band came to town, if I had been so hell-bent that I knew they were vegetarians and taken us to the vegetarian restaurant and planned a time and put it all together, we would have gotten there and I would have been so disappointed because my intuition told me earlier that day that the band was going to be at the restaurant that we were going to, right? But I let go, I breathed, I decided, I don't know better than the universe. If I'm supposed to have dinner next to this band, then I'm going to have dinner next to the band. Voila, there they were. By the way, they're called Walk Off the Earth. I love them, mild obsession. We think that we know better than the universe. That's why our intuition won't work, because we think we know better. We think we're better manifestors. We think that we can come up with a better plan. But the we is the ego. The ego is the one that usually takes over. It's very task-oriented, and it'll motorboat you and the life that you don't want right out. So it'll just get you going without actually having you check in. So that meditation was long, but really small bouts of meditation, small bouts of walking, small bouts of relaxation will allow for the ego to take a fucking backseat so that you can get in the driver's seat with your intuition. Tricks to stay in. Here we go. Get your heart rate up. So one of the big things is so many people tell me that I can't shut this off. Why won't it go away? Right here in your heart, this is the seat of intuition. This gets the visuals. This is the part that listens to you. The stomach's where you feel things. This is the truth barometer right here. So to get out of your head, get into your heart, okay? So you want to get your heart rate up, like really get it up. Dance, yoga, fast-paced walking, hard workout, and then try meditating. Then try something that's a little slower, because that heart rate up will get you out of your head so that you can actually tune in and up to what it is that you want. Go for a long walk without an agenda. Like, don't go for a walk because you have to or you're supposed to or you should, but just like maybe start walking because it's easy, it's fun, and you can get outside. Walking is a really great place for your intuition to find you, and it will find you. And the big thing that I want to say is, if you don't bring your phone, please try not to bring your phone. But if you do bring your phone, make sure you're ready to write notes. Make sure you're ready to record what pops in, because it pops in. And if you're walking without your phone, make sure you bring a pen and paper with you so you can quick jot a note down, because that's when your intuition always shows up. Do art. Art and sing and dance. It's where your spirit lives. So if you're creatively trying to find a solution to something, stop trying to make a solution for it and just go make art, because it'll get you out of your own way. It'll give your brain something to do, and it'll give your spirit a way to show up. And again, aha, will show up, and you'll suddenly find yourself with everything you need. When in doubt, put your hand on your heart. And this is big, because the ego's always screaming. The ego's always going to tell you what you have, what you don't have, what you need, what you're not good at, what you are good at, what somebody else must be thinking about you. It's judging, it's yelling, it's self-doubting, it's just kind of an asshole a lot of the time. So you want to put your hand on your heart and really just ask, like, what is true? Does this person really hate me? Am I a terrible person? What's true? And I think you'll find that you'll get the truth out of your intuition and yourself. You might even laugh and go, I'm putting a lot of energy on this thing that is not serving me. Because the truth is, They're not a bad person. And the truth is probably the other person's not thinking about you. And if they are, it's their shit, not yours. Feel for the answers you're seeking. Feel them. Feel in your gut for the answer that you're looking for, right? And listen to see if the answers are coming in. And then look for the symbols. Look for the metaphors. Look for the signs, okay? Ego loves to trick us. So now you have the tricks to get out of ego, but here's how it does it. Ego will actually, so our brains are so powerful that once we've decided that we are looking for a sign, the ego will create a pattern of signs and it'll have us believing them because often we want something so much that we will manufacture proof. And this is a tough one between the intuition and the ego. This one's tough. So this is how you fix that. Throw your intuition and spirit a tough sign to show you, and then ask them to show it to you 3 times specifically, okay? So say you're about to buy a house and it's between one house or the other house. And you really don't know which house you like better. And I'm using a house because that's just what popped in. You want a sign, right? You want a sign for the house. Now, you might be like, well, this house has my grandmother energy in it and this house has that energy, but which one's the better one? Say, I want a hawk. I want to see a hawk 3 times. If I see 3 hawks, then I'm going for this house. Like flip a coin and pick the house that the hawk's going to. And if the hawk goes to the other house, if it doesn't show up 3 times, then it goes to the other house. Does that make sense? Ask yes and no questions. Should I take the job? Yes or no? I want to see 3 elephants today. 3 elephants. See if you see 3 elephants. Your ego can't produce that. Your ego can produce the things that you want, though. It will. It'll show you the signs even if it's not for you. So one of the ones that I do is like, show me garden gnomes. And it's totally unrelated to any topic. I want to see garden gnomes. And it's only in certain neighborhoods that you usually see them. But as soon as I say I want to see garden gnomes, they show up. Our brain generally wants something to do. And it'll distract us and our spirit and our intuition with tasks that it doesn't have to do. And that's how it meddles. So really, when you need your intuition to be turned on, give the ego a bone. Throw that dog a bone. Throw it something to do so that your intuition can show up. Above all, this is all about just trusting yourself. Don't second guess. Trust. When in doubt, see where you can find the trust. What is true for you, okay? Trust that you're receiving the right answers and then follow those breadcrumbs. And when in doubt, guys, I'm right here. All you do is call and make an appointment, okay? So it's official. You're intuitive. You are now divinely tuned into your intuition. And to grow your intuition and create the muscle you want to be the guru and chief of your business and your life, I invite you to come check out Rise Unlimited. It's a 12-week program, and I don't want 12 weeks to scare you because it's spread out over 12 weeks so that you have time. I created time for you guys, seriously. So let me just get this off. You can go to willowbradner.com/rise. And I'm just going to stop share so I can actually see you guys and talk to you about what this means. Just get that off. So rise.com, Rise Unlimited, is this amazing 12-week program. So what you just experienced over the course of this last hour is just the tip of the iceberg. And one of the reasons that we don't really connect ourselves to our intuition is that we have all these sort of ego aspects of ourselves that are there. So the idea of Rise is that we are doing meditation, there's yoga, there's mantras included in every stage, and you can choose to do them at your own will. They're just there for you. And inside of it is a fully curated program. So you've got your own workbook that you can go through. It's both recorded and written so that you can do it in your own time. You can listen to it in the car, or you can actually like write everything down if you really need that physical touch with it. And then you and we meet every week in some capacity. Either we have a one-to-one together where I am truly creating this program for you, and it becomes, while we have the meat and the bones and the skeleton of what we're creating, we then also attune it just specific to you. And then on the weeks that we're not meeting, we have group question and answer get-togethers where we can hang out and ask questions of the material, find out what's working, find out what's not working, and see how we can adjust things for you. Inside the material is really, we're going through the most important 5 chakras that we are all really stuck at. It seems in my psychic experience that the third eye is wide open for most people. Like, I do believe that we are all super intuitive and we are all very connected. But we get stuck right here. We get stuck trying to express ourselves and saying, like, I want, or I need, or I am. Like, who am I? I don't know, right? So we're really clearing this out. One of the things about expression that I think is really important, in particular for women at this stage and phase in our lives, is that our ancestry, to not get too woo, our ancestry speaks to the fact that if a woman wanted to be an individual, if she wanted to be big, if she wanted to own her own business, if she wanted something that was independent and individual for herself, she was often killed. So we carry this energy around with us. Believe it or not, we carry lifetimes of energy right here in our throat that says that we cannot speak out of order. And so clearing that energy in this program is like the number one thing that we do, is just clear it so that we can really get in tune with our intuition that much more, and so that we can get really clear about what it is that you want. Because what you want is so powerful, and it's that piece of your purpose that really, once ignited, everybody just stand back and get out of the way. Because once this is ignited, once you've really identified with who you are and what you want, sky's no longer the limit. It's just not. Then we move into this heart chakra, where really a lot of information and energy is stored. And this one is big because we really clear it out. We clear out the clutter and we find out what's true. We really ignite the intuition from this perspective, really understanding what's true and the differential between what triggers us, what hurts us, what creates pain for us, but also the powerful aspect of what we love and what it is that really lights us up. So we counteract it with just really great juice and getting true about what it is that we love. Moving down into this solar plexus area where that feeling intuition is. One of the big things is that we're all out of time and we're all out of energy. But when we can create great boundaries for ourselves, then suddenly we have this expansive time. So learning how to use your intuition to say, yes, I do want that, and no, I don't want that, and understanding how to really create those boundaries for your life so that you can create time and energy. And then we move into the manifestation corner, my favorite corner. And I really think you can't have any of this. You can't start to really manifest until you've cleared up some of the old patterns in your life. So it's there, once we get into the sacral chakra, the body of creation in our lives, where we really clean up the last energy that really has to go away. And that is the martyr energy, that I can give it all away if you like me energy. We're done with that. We move into the manifestation of what it is that you want, and teaching you how to really create it, and how to create with the time and energy that you made and with what you love, and just adding that passion and sauce into it so that you really, it's an unstoppable energy from that point forward and what you can create. And last, we ground it out. We ground it out with the most important thing that we use in America, but is not necessarily the most important thing that we use in the world. And that's money, right? How to make wealth, how to create abundance, and what is truly in your value system. And one of the massive questions that I'll leave you with just for this episode is, what is enough? What is enough? We often say we don't have enough, right? But nobody ever names it. And in Rise Unlimited, we take the time to name what enough is, because once we have created enough, then more can actually show up, okay? So I hope that I get to see you guys on the other side. With anybody who's interested with Rise Unlimited, you get a free, that is free, right, discovery call with me. And it is a 30-minute call just to see if we like each other in real life and if it feels like it's a fit for you. And so I'll just ask you some questions and we'll hang out, and there's a little intuition in there for sure, always. So like, it's like a TV reading with a lot of questions for you as well. So that's a great opportunity. You can go direct to my website, willowbradner.com, work with me, and discover how you can create this call with me. The program Rise Unlimited opens up on October 15th and goes through January 7th. It's really for anybody who is prepared and ready to create massive impact in 2019. I think we're done being afraid. I think we're done living in self-doubt. I think we're done comparing our lives to other people. And I believe that you have the right, the ability, and deserve to have all the things that you want. And I'm here to help you get there and show you how. Break through that how. All right. Lots of love, you guys. Peace in. If this program really suited you and you learned a lot, I'd love to hear from you regardless. Okay. Lots of love. Bye, you guys. Take care.